Oh, hey, friends, what's up? I see Godzillionaires in the chat, Parrothead's in the chat, Sherry's in the chat, Macklin is in the chat, so she definitely made it. Haha. Tehillim29's in the chat. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I've got Brightest Day with me as always because Zach is like, he's like my bestie these days. God, he wears every hat here in the house, man. He's got the producer, he's the co-host. He's just he may as well be the co-owner of my channel. But that's fine with me. I couldn't ask for a better guy to do it. And as you guys may have noticed, Arwyn is not here with us. She apparently sprained her ankle yesterday, so she's laid up and she's on some pain meds and whatnot, so she's not feeling up to streaming, and I wasn't going to push her. So it's me and Zachy, and we're gonna knock this out. So hail Kogi Pan, what's going on? It's Shane Nolan. I see you in the house. Great to see you guys. And Sherry, I don't know what happened for you to change your name, but I hope things get better in Sherryland. I really do, because it's not the same without seeing the lovely Sherry, because you are, at least to me, you're super lovely. So
I didn't think I fail. I'm the one that got her to change it to the lovely Sherry in the first place.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see everybody here, though. We haven't done we have not done a Pegasus actual in now over a month, because the last one we did, I was going back through the archives, was December 16th. So it's been a minute. So this is the first one back coming out of the Christmas break. So I guess we took an extended break, but it's nice to be back. Being down with the sickness, not to make a disturbed pun, but being down with the sickness sucked for a little while. And you guys know that, I came back this week and we did Rogue Resistance Tuesday, and now we're back finally on Pegasus Actual. So it's good to be, it feels right in the world when PA is going strong, and I'm glad for that. So, all right. Well, we are on season 4, episode 13, which is The Oath. And this is a good one. This is actually one of my favorites. So, Zach, if you want to say a few words, welcome everybody on in, and then get into it, by all means, go right ahead.
Yeah, so this is given some of the lesser energy episodes of the fourth season, this one ramps it up a lot.
Oh, this is
like there's more action in this episode, and just among the Galactica itself, than in a lot of other episodes. Like, you get a lot of drama, you get a lot of character development from an already established character, and just a lot of action.
Yeah, this one is a barn burner. This is one of my favorites of season 4, to be honest. And yeah, I really like this. So,
and we get to see a couple characters, albeit briefly, that we don't get to see for a while. One of which at the very end, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. But
all right, buddy, go ahead and start on in then.
All right, so like Drew said, this is season 4, episode 13, entitled The Oath. If you have not smashed that like button, please do so. If you are new and you haven't subscribed, please do so. The episode opens in Adama's quarters, where Ty briefs him on the civilian ships refusing to allow their FTL drives to be upgraded by the Cylons. Adama postures to use Lee to bend the quorum to comply under threat of jail time. Roslin casually strolls out of Adama's private washroom, catching Ty off guard momentarily, before regaining his composure and reminding Bill that the fleet's attitude towards Cylons might mean it would be better for someone else who is not one of the final five to take point. Gaeta arrives at the brig and escorts Tom Zarek out of his cell. As they make their way out, a crewman informs Gaeta that Viper pilot Narcho and one Private Paley have secured a small arms locker on Deck C. Gaeta and Zarek discuss how to keep the quorum from reacting badly to their plans, particularly Lee Adama. Gaeta advises Zarek to push Representative Adama's buttons, since apparently he's very good at that. So I'll stop here. We immediately see that Gaeta is the, for lack of a better word, the mastermind behind everything that's going to happen in this episode. Stemming off of the simmering hatred that was shown the last time we were discussing an episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny too, and I'll talk about it when we get to that point, but you want to dislike Gaeta, but there are going to be times when you're like, maybe. It's a very good episode for him.
Well, yeah, you can understand a little bit where he's coming from, even though he's clearly gone off the deep end.
I don't even know it's so much as going off the deep end as he's just had enough.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think, again, not to bring this back up, but the death of Duwala definitely broke him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really did. And he was becoming a lot more, and it calls on, I think, something in us humanity-wise, because people that are considered our enemies, we have a very hard time finding the humanity or finding the common ground with them a lot of times, and this kind of speaks to that, because there's a definite tribalistic split within the colonials themselves, because there's the black and white, I'm all about humanity in the colonial fleet and death to the enemy, and then there's the people that are like, well, I want to defeat the real enemies, but I don't want to, I'm not going to deny that the Cylons have some humanity, and those groups are at odds, and that's all over the fleet.
Yeah, there are definitely those that just have no forgiveness at all, and those that cannot conflate the the mechanical and the regular skin job Cylons with the final five, even though they're fundamentally different. Like that distinction isn't made among most of the people. So continuing on. In the Admiral's quarters, Roslin discusses the fleet's issues for the first time in days. She and Adama both agree that the alliance with the rebel Cylons and general amnesty they were given is not working, and that Lee Adama may not be able to convince the quorum otherwise. Roslin has to force herself to stop talking about the fleet, and the two say goodbye with affectionate small talk about having dinner ready for Adama when he returns from his shift. Meanwhile, on the hangar deck, Racetrack causes a distraction to clear all bystanders from the deck and allow Gaeta and Zarek's escort to enter unnoticed. As Racetrack tells Gaeta that she's disabled the Raptor's transponder, Deck Chief Peter Laird steps in, questioning the authorization for the Raptor's departure. When Laird is not dissuaded from calling CIC to verify the ship's use, Zarek quietly picks up a wrench and strikes Laird on the skull, killing him instantly. Jean swiftly runs from the gangway, having witnessed the murder in secret. When Gaeta reacts in shock to Zarek's action, the Vice President tells Gaeta not to hold on to some operatic ideal of how his revolution must be handled. Any hesitation could jeopardize their plans. Gaeta reassures Zarek of his willingness to follow through and sends him onto the Raptor.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking, actually, when it when that actually happened.
And it's kind of funny too, because Gaeta seems very gung ho about this whole thing from the get go. Like, he seems committed, but he still has that line he doesn't want to cross, and Zarek doesn't have that qualm, and it shows that they're still not eye to eye on certain things.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you start to see the various crew members that have been convinced to one side or the other, and a lot of them are names that you probably wouldn't expect, or you wouldn't expect that there had been so many names to be turned toward this, for lack of a better word, a mutiny, which is, it's basically what it is. It's a mutiny.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely it is.
But to get to Racetrack and Skulls and a fair deal of the Marines, Narcho, there's a lot of support behind this. And it reminds me of a little bit. It reminds me a little bit of in Captain America Civil War, when you finally learn that a lot of the people that have been part of these projects are on the other side, and now you don't know who to trust.
Right. That's exactly it. And it's just, it tripped me out, because I was like, you see who's involved and you're like, no.
Actually, we haven't gotten to it yet, but I want to talk about one of the the reveals when we get to it. I'll continue on and see if I can get there. After the opening credits, Ty updates Adama on the matters they discussed earlier, as Lieutenant Hoshi notes a ship launch that he can't authenticate in the flight log, and Dratus does not show any transponder ID. Gaeta, taking his place at his station, stalls Hoshi, advising him to look at other logs from the flight deck. When Ty tells Adama quietly that he has had Nuart gather Marines for further action to compel other civilian ships to comply, Adama warns that doing the same thing he did on the Hite Khan a few days prior would likely destroy the likelihood of anyone in the fleet supporting the fragile Cylon alliance. Hoshi continues to try to verify the flying contact as Gaeta tries to stall.
Yeah, Gaeta's like, I'm thinking it's a Dratus ghost.
Yeah, he does a really good job of utilizing his knowledge of his own station and of Hoshi's station to, pull all the little strings he can to buy as much time. Love or hate Gaeta, he's extremely intelligent, and it's put on full display in this episode. So this next line is where I wanted to kind of stop. Celix meets with Samuel Anders in one of the officers' quarters. She slyly talks about her attraction to him as other crewmen sneak up, blindfold, savagely beat him before taking him away. So Celix was kind of one of the ones I'm surprised they used in a direct action. But it's nice that they gave her some screen time in this.
Yeah, not to mention Celix is rather hot.
She all right.
She all right.
She's not my favorite, but she all right.
She all right. Exactly. So I mean, I wasn't complaining. Not in the slightest.
Yeah. I think that she only got away with it because Anders seemed incredibly distracted when she got up to him. Like, he definitely had his mind on something else. And that was probably the only reason he got taken.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that and the fact that, they brought 4 guys on him, but...
Yeah, that you kind of could see how it was going. They were going to round up the Cylons first.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a couple more scenes in between that, but we do see that later on that's one of their immediate objectives. So continuing on a bit, Azadama hands Private Jaffe a log to file. Hoshi reports of a fire near the ship's wireless antenna array. As Adama gives orders for damage control teams to handle the issue, Gata warns that the fire might not be an accident. Adama agrees and orders Marines to accompany the damage control teams. Meanwhile, in another officer's quarters, Kara teases Hot Dog about his new fatherhood, commenting how her decision of his pilot nickname appears to be an apt one. Costanza angrily replies that Thrace has racked half the fleet and has nothing to show for his similar indiscretions. Jokingly, Kara throws her bowl of food at him and returns to her book as the alarm to evacuate the deck sounds. When Thrace steps out to ask Narcho why he, a pilot, is handling damage control, Narcho nastily spurns her senior rank, stating that no one knows what she is anymore. However, when Starbuck sees a mix of Marines and other civilians heading in the opposite direction, she follows them on gut instinct. She sees the group break into the small arms locker, arming themselves, with Charlie Connor issuing orders to both military and civilian personnel. She runs back to her quarters, grabs her sidearm and ammo, and calls CIC. Gata ignores her warning of the break-in, leading her to quickly deduce what's happening. And that right there is Kara's defining moment. Like, you see it click in her brain really, really fast. And and you see it. She says it explicitly in another scene. She comes alive like the first time in weeks. Where
Yeah,
she's like, oh,
she knows what's up, dude. As soon as she goes to her locker and starts grabbing up all the fucking ammo clips and shit, you're like, oh yeah, it's on. It's on. She
oh yeah,
knows
she
what's
she
up.
she figures out real quick, especially because she had that spat with Gata in the last episode. So
Mhm.
him just completely cutting her off and ignoring her, she's like, oh, that's not fucking right. But this is what's great is that now we get, full test Kara again.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's
and
not what.
that's what, dude. It was so hot. I'm like sitting there, like, yes, this is hot. I remember that when this was on.
And she's got she's got the shoulder length hair again, whereas it was a little bit shorter, in previous episodes. So she looks kind of like her old self.
Oh yeah, she is mad hot in this episode, dude. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
What's up, Tony? Great to see you. Great to see you in the chat. Zarek'S is here. What's up, Zarek'S? Good to see you, buddy.
And we had Shane Nolan and Nano Monstro up too. Thanks everybody for being
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Hail to you guys. Great to see you. And you guys came in on a really, really good episode, by the way, because the Oath is awesome. This is. I would say this is maybe my favorite of season 4. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean we're just a little bit over halfway through the season, and to get this massive event that happens is
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty telling, especially considering we know that a few episodes down the road we're at the finale.
But
It's like,
this was awesome though, and this is the difference. Okay, this is why, again, we talk about our modern mythologies, folks, so we talk about storytelling now. You don't get this depth, you don't get this common sense planning of shows anymore when they're on. Like, seasons drag or episodes are just terribly written and there's no layers to anything. It's very superficial, and that's a problem, and you could see it and all the offerings, whether you're watching HBO Max, whether you're watching Disney Plus, whether you're watching, take your pick of whatever streaming service, Netflix, you can see it throughout. There's no shows that have this, layering, this sort of gravitas to them. The Expanse maybe, but let's face it. If you guys have been watching The Expanse right along, then you guys know season 6 was a bit of a disappointment. It really was. And that is the difference with what we see here, because this is this is maintaining consistency, at least, even though season 4 was like the least, I think, popular season of BSG. It was still pretty fairly consistent, the same as the other ones were, and it still had depth of storytelling to it.
Yeah, I think it stems from, at this point in the season, the breaking of the whole following the prophecy to Earth arc and getting back to the interpersonal interfleet problems that really made the first couple of seasons shine. Like, you have these what am I going to call it, a basic issue, but a human problem, like something that could very easily happen on a military vessel that causes problems throughout the entire fleet. Just people being fundamentally unable to come to an agreement on a single topic and it exploding into violence. Like, that is basic human condition storytelling. So, getting back into it. On Colonial 1, Lee Adama also tries to call his father regarding Zarek'S release, but Gaeta blocks Adama's attempt to reach the Admiral by claiming that he's busy. Gaeta also feigns ignorance about Zarek'S release. Zarek steps in, telling Lee that the Admiral released him because Zarek would not be a threat if Adama didn't recognize civilian authority. Lee believes otherwise and leaves on a Raptor for Galactica. Meanwhile, Gaeta fakes a ship-wide communications failure, including backup systems, about which Ty is immediately skeptical. Lee Adama arrives on the hangar deck from his Raptor and is immediately accosted by Skulls and several others.
Yeah. Oh man. And this is let me stop you there, Zach. Oh God, this is one of my favorite scenes. Will we get dinged if we pull the clip up?
I mean, yes, but if you handle it correctly, you'll be fine.
Which
play
is
like 10 seconds at a time and then pause it.
Okay. Well, we'll do that because I really want to pull up this clip, because this is like one of my serious favorites. Man, I love this clip. So
I'm pretty sure the Galactica YouTube page has this on there.
yeah, I know,
Anyway,
and that's where I was gonna go. So bear with me, folks. I'm gonna pull this up because you guys have to see this clip. This is great. But yeah, you get into the whole thing with Kara coming in and it telling him, take it from someone who's been dead once. It's not very fun.
Yeah, amazing one-liner. Amazing.
He's just sitting there like capping people, man. Oh, hold on. Let me. Where is that clip?
I mean, she comes in, she's dual wielding. She caps one guy in the back of the head right before she shoots Lee. She nails Skulls in the shoulder, just like casually, like, bop, done. And she's like, I can. She utters the Captain America line. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
Like, long before he says it in the movie, because good 8. Don't quote me. I don't remember when Captain America came out, but it's a hell of a long time before that came out.
Oh yeah, it's this is great. Okay,
You got it.
Yeah, I sure do. Uh, all right, folks. So let's go ahead and we'll share this. So this is on the about. This is courtesy of the Battlestar Galactica YouTube channel. Of course, this is being used in this stream for the purpose of exposition, also for the purpose of discussion, and it is used with all fair use intended. The clip is, of course, the property of NBC Universal. And let's go ahead and take a look.
You're still going to have to fight it.
Yeah.
So are you trying to tell me that all communications are still out?
Yeah.
What the hell's being done?
So you see right there, Connor's attacking them, and they have the Marines in on it, the whole 9 yards. And so then we get into a little more.
Yeah, I mean, Lee gets completely blindsided from the start. Like, he doesn't even pay attention to the fact that there's a group of people waiting there for him. He just completely glances over it. He's so distracted.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you just said, what is this all about?
You're making a big mistake. No, sure. We're confused. Maybe we should have a trial and sort it all out.
Nice little jab at him about the trial of Baltar, where they totally made sure that they rubbed that in his face.
Oh, yeah.
4 years of
Everyone that's involved has their little motivations from previous seasons that get brought back up. And then we get this almost immediate.
So where are your
I think they wait
precious
too
now?
long before this, because I think if he pulls the gun, that a Marine would be like immediately ready to go, unless he was waiting for an order. But
well, and they're still like they're sitting there like, I've got a gun to the president's head. Not exactly sure.
Yeah, basically.
But I can do this right now. So there is some pause on there. All right. And there's
Take it from someone
Kara.
who died once.
And I love how they play this. They
Let
play
him
the
go.
sound effect,
Track you.
but there's just enough of a delay that you don't know that it's
I
not
could do this
Lee
all
getting
day.
shot.
Who's next? Racetrack? Connor?
Just sitting there, just dual wielding. Like, yeah, let's go.
I know, that's like video game hero Kara. I love it.
Yeah.
Now.
So, like, such a badass
Follow me.
moment for her. Please. Yeah.
She says, she's like, follow me, please. Oh my God, it's so hot.
Yeah.
God, it's so hot.
That is prototypical Starbuck right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Kara we have all wanted to see come back.
Yeah, I was just so hot. really love that. And that's pretty much the clip. But you guys get the gist. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was also the next paragraph I was going to read, so I don't have to read that.
Oh man, yeah, her hair does look great in that shade. Oh my God, she's so hot in this episode.
Yeah, and it's not even just that; it's that she's got that fire in her eye now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's got that character back.
Mm-hmm.
All credit to Katie Sackhoff for how she carried that character through all 4 of these seasons.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, and people kind of, I know, looking back on it, I know back at the time when the episode aired, when back on the old Pegasus actual forums, when we had everything, when we still had the website, we had a lot of members that were kind of, right after the finale, in the following days, talking about Kara's character, and it's like, well, did you like her as Mortal Starbuck or Angel Starbuck? And I was like, I think she did a good job on both. And that speaks to the point you just made. Even as Angel Starbucks, she did fine. I thought so.
I think on a more macro level, that's one of the many instances, or at least one of a few instances, where the same actor or actress plays the same character, but it's such a different version of the same character that she's essentially playing another
Yes.
character. The
Yes.
other example of that being Trisha Helfer and all the various versions of Six that she has to play throughout the series. She's essentially playing, X number of different characters.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, because oh God, how many sixes did we have? We had the quorum leader one, we had Shelley Godfrey, we had Caprica, we had oh my God, just
Yeah,
so
Angel
many of them.
Six, Natalie. Yeah,
Yeah.
so many, all the same actress, same basic character. But all right, so Drew's going to step away. I'm going to read a few more paragraphs, and then hopefully by the time he gets back, we'll be good. So after that scene, we're taken to a tender family moment with the Agathons, which is interrupted as a group storms in and takes Sharon hostage at gunpoint. Former Pegasus crewman Gage recalls Helo's actions surrounding the death of Alistair Thorne when Helo and Tyrell rescued Sharon from potential sexual assault, or impending sexual assault, before promising to finish what Thorne had started with Sharon. Lee and Kara seal themselves in a dry storage locker, reviewing all the events that have happened. Thrace hisses into a sound-powered phone Semper Frackin' Phi, only to discover it dead. Lee is astonished how people he's trusted over numerous missions have turned mutinous. He realizes that the hangar deck is only a beachhead for a ship-wide takeover. In the heat of the moment, Kara passionately kisses Lee as she tells him she hasn't felt this alive in weeks. They leave to work out what to do and gather people who will help. CIC stands in confusion as Gata continues to throw false report after false report, keeping Ty and the Admiral off base. Adama eventually sends poor Private Jaffe to investigate. The Agathons are thrown in the Cylon brig, along with Caprica 6 and Samuel Anders. Caprica 6 warns that this is a start to eradicating the Cylons, especially their children, who they view as a threat to their existence. Athena reassures her that they'll be kept alive as long as bargaining chips against the rebel base ship are needed, especially Samuel Anders. Lee and Kara fight their way through the Deck F corridors. They pass by several unidentified bodies, as well as groups of huddled civilians trying to stay out of the crossfire. A Marine pursues a group of armed civilians and exchanges gunfire with them. The duo encounter an unidentified crewman with a pistol who yields to them, suggesting that he's an ally, and then they continue on. As Jaffe returns to report that the array's damage was faked, Gata initiates the final phase of the takeover, calling in several Marines who are part of the mutiny, who encircle Adama and the startled CIC staff, which calls right back to the comparison I made to Captain America Civil War, or Winter Soldier 4. A handful of Marines who are not involved in the mutiny remain in the room as well. When Gata signals one of the Marines, when one of Gata's Marines signals as though he's about to shoot the Admiral, Jaffe takes the bullet for him, receiving a fatal wound in the process. A brief firefight ensues, and several Marines are killed, including those who are not involved in the mutiny. Gata orders his men to cease fire, then orders Adama and his staff to stand down, which the Admiral reluctantly agrees to do, despite Ty's anger. So Gata has just taken control of the CIC, and all the Cylons have been held in the brig now. That's where we're at.
Yeah, that was a trip. And I'm just like, what the hell? Because it really was, the parallel with the Winter Soldier
Winter Soldier.
Was it Winter Soldier?
Yes, yeah, I misspoke before.
Okay. Yeah, it was uncanny.
And I don't know. I highly doubt that that's a reference. I don't think that was like an inspiration, but it is. Looking in retrospect, it's a very very close parallel, and it brings up a lot of the same emotion, and they're done with pretty equal levels of effectiveness too. And then we have we have Adama's pet private taking the bullet for him, which is kind of weird because he was really like a tertiary character. Like he was like just kind of there. He was almost like another Boxy.
Yeah, what are we gonna? We're gonna have like Jaffe theories now. Well, technically not because like he's
Yeah, all he
he's
did was
dead.
get coffee. He was literally a gopher.
Yeah.
Which I think he only got a couple of lines. I think one of them was just telling Adama his name.
Yeah.
Back in the episode where I think it was the Adama's anniversary. Jaffe brings me coffee, and he forgets his name when he actually sees the kid. He's like, "It's Jaffe, sir." Like I think Boxy got more lines, which is kind of sad, but
Yeah, he did. I think you're right.
all right. So how much more we got? We got a fair bit. So Gaeta tells Adama that he's removing him from command of Galactica on the charge of treason. Adama accuses Gaeta of betraying his oath and his uniform, while Gaeta retorts that the Admiral has done that himself by allying with the Cylons and allowing them to network computers on their ship. Adama angrily warns that, unlike times in the past, there will be no forgiveness or amnesty for this takeover. Gaeta orders the Marines to arrest Tai, Adama, and the senior staff, including Hoshi, and place them in a holding cell. Kara Thrace and Lee Adama make it to the Admiral's quarters, finding Laurel Roslin there, and telling her of the uprising, the communications blackout, and that Zarek is in control on Colonial 1. Roslin has had enough. She puts on her coat and leads them all out, knowing of one way to get a message out over wireless. Gaeta, now commanding CIC, orders Redwing and his Marine team to secure the engine room. Specialist Gage now sits in Gaeta's old station. Surrounded by his followers, Gaius Baltar wishes his group well as he prepares to leave, believing that the uprising will come to get him as well. Galen Tyrrell confirms Jean's fears to Baltar. As Roslin, Thrace, and Lee Adama arrive, Tyrrell briefs them. Using secured wireless handhelds, Tyrrell has learned that the Admiral is in custody. He tells them that he's in control of an airlock that can be used to get Adama off the ship. When Lee asks why Tyrrell is doing this, Tyrrell tells him simply that the old man deserves a better fate than he'll get from them. Tai and Adama begin speaking to their two Marine escorts, Noart and Maldonado. Adama challenges Noart to shoot him. The distraction works, and Tai and Adama manage to turn the tables, with Adama shooting Maldonado and taking Noart prisoner. Which is a fantastic little moment because you get to see that these two old dogs still know how to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that too. That was a good one.
And I think that this episode in particular, considering that the bridge between Adama and Tai had been, damaged and in some cases burned over the previous episodes, this brings them right back together. So this is a nice recovery, not only of Kara's character, but of the Tai Adama friendship in the face of what's now a common enemy.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they're solid as a rock now, because the adrenaline's pumping, man. They're in the foxhole together again, and that's how it is.
Also, on a side note, for anyone that's watched my video on the subject, Michael Hogan is making a pretty good recovery from his slip and fall accident a couple years ago. He's up and walking around. He's eating solid food, and he's got use of limbs that he had lost before. So there's a bit of good news.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, like I was very happy to hear that. Shout out to Macklin who forwarded that article to me.
Yeah. And that's good because, I know that he was kind of in bad shape for a little while, and that's good.
I mean, he was bedridden for a while, but I guess now he's able to actually pull himself up on his own strength.
Yeah.
So, all right, continuing on. Rosalind and Baltar have a brief talk. She knows that Baltar's pirate wireless transmitter that he's used to communicate with his followers throughout the fleet could be used to warn others in the fleet as well. He waves away one of his consorts and notices how he and her are alike in their opportunistic senses of self-preservation. Adama and Ty watch Connor give orders to other mutineers, and after Nowart tells them that he was ordered to take all essential personnel and Cylons to the brig, decide that there might be some allies to be found there. Back in CIC, Specialist Gage, under Gata's command, puts the confused and panicky comm traffic on the loudspeaker and patches Gata through to Zarek. After Zarek expresses his concerns over leaving Adama alive, Laura Roslind's voice begins to talk through the fleet through Baltar's pirate signal, telling them all, including the quorum, of the uprising, and pleading all to follow the rightful authorities. Gage is unable to stop the pirate signal until Gata comes over to the station to jam it. But now the fleet's comm chatter worsens, asking for more information from Rosalind and about what is happening on the Battlestar. Lee and Kara meet up with Adama and Ty outside the brig. The Admiral prevents Starbuck from shooting Nowart before sending him away as she rushes through and attempts again to kill him, warning the Admiral that the men on his ship are not his men anymore.
That is such a powerful line. She just tells them, these are not your men anymore. They are the enemy. Oh, it's so good. So good.
And it points to a lot of what leads up to this situation in the first place, is that over the years, Adama is just blinded to the situation on his own ship and in the fleet now. Like he's got it in his head that he can do these things he wants to do with the alliance with the Cylons and with his relationship with Rosalind, and he just flat out didn't notice how things were deteriorating among his own crew. And this is the price he pays for it. This is also kind of where you start to realize that Gata's a little bit right. Gata and Zarek have a pretty good standing in terms of justification. It's why they have such a huge following throughout the fleet in this action. Like you want to hate him, but you have to give him the point. Especially when he looks Adama in the face and he's like, you would have never, ever allowed machines to network computers on your ship. Why now? Like, that's a point you can't take away from him. Did I lose you?
I'm just like sitting here and thinking about it's just it's just very funny how the stark realization kind of just blindsides Adama in this whole incident.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you said, he almost became oblivious to the whole thing. And hail Dwayne Erickson, good to see you, buddy.
So it's actually kind of funny, and I just had this thought now. So he had his wife, right? He had his wife, the mother of his children, and he lost her, and for a long period of his life, the lady of his life was the Galactica. And it
Mhm.
was that up until Rosalind became the lady of his life, and then he started ignoring the Galactica, and now like that's the kind of the transition that we're at. Because as we're going to get to here in a minute, Rosalind has his heart. That's the thing he's seeking most to protect.
Yeah, which you can clearly see coming up here.
So I think these are the last couple of paragraphs. So I'll read through real quick. In the secondary storage airlock, Rosalind and Baltar talk about Gata and his duplicitous nature. As Adama and his team make their way there, Lee and Ty spar verbally about what's led them to this point, with Lee conceding that Zarek, beneath everything, is right. Baltar calls the CIC from a phone in the corridor and tries desperately to get Gata to stop his takeover. He reminds him of their failings on New Caprica, suggesting that Gata was complicit with the Cylon occupation, prompting him to close the channel. A Raptor heads towards Galactica from the Cylon base ship, but Gata realizes the craft isn't heading for the hangar deck. Again, a key example of Gata's intelligence and quick thinking. The Raptor docks in the since abandoned shuttle bay, or storage. Where's storage bay?
Yeah, I think it was like a secondary storage bay.
Yeah. Rosalind and Adama greet each other at once and kiss, causing Lee and Thrace to look at each other in surprise. Tyrrell's men get word over wireless of Marines heading their way. Baltar and Rosalind board the Raptor, but the Admiral orders Tyrrell to get Lee and Thrace out and back to his secured area. He and Ty choose to stay behind to ensure that the Raptor gets away. Under the
Yeah. I know it was for story purposes, Zach, but wasn't it kind of funny when the Raptor disengaged from the, was in free flight once it started to move forward? Wouldn't it have been prudent for them to just jump to the other side of the base star and then dock at the base star? I mean, logically speaking.
Yeah. And that's kind of, we're not given an explicit, detailed list of capabilities of the Raptors' jump, range.
Well, but their jump range, that's obviously in their jump range because it's just like a click away.
Yeah, obviously we don't know distances or anything. I think that
they're made for short range tactical jumps.
Yeah, but I don't know. Again, so there's tactical, and then there's slightly more tactical. So it's stated way back in the first episode, or actually in the miniseries, that the Raptors' jump capability is to jump ahead of the fleet, a few clicks to scout out areas. This kind of micro jumping, like in between ships like that, is actually more something that the Cylon FTL is capable of doing. They're especially, and this from Deadlock, like to jump thousands of meters in space is actually the kind of microcomputing that the Cylons are capable of, but maybe not the Raptor. Again, we're never explicitly given the capabilities, but it's a good thought. What is noted, and especially in the show notes, is that Ty and Adama choose to stay behind, even though there is plenty of time for everybody to get on the Raptor and get the hell out of Dodge.
Mm-hmm. Which that, of course, is played up for extra drama, as is the Raptor chase.
Yeah, so it's played up for drama, but I think it's characteristically a choice that Ty and Adama make, and that they realize we effed up. We as the command of this ship have effed up and allowed this to happen. We cannot abandon ship. We have to try to right this wrong and take it back. And again, you got these two old dogs that finally have a fight again. So. But let's see, I've got like two more lines. Under the shocked gazes of the people around him, Gata orders the Cap to intercept and destroy the escaping Raptor. The Marines, led by not long seen Aaron Kelly, use welding torches to cut through the airlocks and open the door slightly. Adama fires a few rounds at the opening before he and Ty take a position to repel the squad as a flash grenade is thrown through the opening and the episode ends.
Yeah, wow. What a just a high tension episode, man. This was great. Shane Nolan says they did it in Razor, I believe, a micro jump. See, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and again, at the very least, we'll just say it's for dramatic reasons. You know,
Yeah,
it's gonna take time to plot the jump.
and Shane says it would take 10 minutes to plot the jump. Well, look, guys, it was for technically dramatic purposes. I mean, you know, it goes back to the thing, you know, when we suspend disbelief, you know, when we sit there and we question something logic wise, even in a show that we all like, you know, that's good. Even when we nitpick certain things, it's funny because, you know, we're just like, well, why did they do that? Well, it's in the script.
So now I just had an interesting thought. Are we shown that there is a full crew of the Raptor, or are we just assuming that there's only one pilot?
There was just that one Sharon model is all that was.
So I believe, and if someone can correct me if I'm wrong, that the plotting of the jump has to be done by the ECO.
Oh, okay.
Which would explain, because if there's no ECO, then it would fall on the pilot to do it. And maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, that's true. But she is a Cylon, so she is a computer.
Yeah, but you do that weird tap into it thing like they did in that one webisode.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, you know, I have nothing but good to say about this episode because this is one of my favorites. You know, I know that Tony Ruth Korean probably liked this one, and I think a bunch of the people in the chat probably like this one. So, yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I would hope so, because this was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I watched it a month ago to do the review, and I watched it again prior to the stream, and it's still really tense. Like, there's still some stellar performances in this.
Yeah, Dwayne, tell Rita we say hi, by the way. You know, we always love Rita coming by. But yeah, this was like super, super, super awesome. I can't say enough good things about this episode. And even the one following this one, Blood on the Scales, is really good because like there's a ton of good Romo Lampkin moments in that one. Yeah. And the follow-up next week when we do Blood on the Scales, guys, you're gonna enjoy that too. Because the second part of this episode is great.
I'm trying to remember because as I mentioned toward the end of the episode, Aaron Kelly shows up again, who, in my opinion, is a criminally underutilized character. And I said as much in my 5 characters who could be Cylons video. They could have done so much more with him. So for him to come back and lead the raiding party that's coming to get Ty and Adama, I'm trying to remember if he gets more lines in the next episode or episodes.
Oh, he does. He gets plenty. Yeah. He gets a lot more. You know, so
I had the chance to meet him at Dragon Con. Super nice guy.
Oh, Ty Oates is awesome, man. He's an underrated actor, actually. I'd actually, you know, that's one of the dudes that's like, you think about it, that's like one of the dudes you would want to like talk to, you know, like
Dude, I walked up to his autograph booth. There was nobody there. He's just eating breakfast, and he's just like, "Hi, what's up?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's cool." We just chilled for a bit. Like, eat your breakfast, and I don't have to, do the sign and picture thing immediately. He's like, "Yeah, it's cool." You see his eyes are bloodshot. He's like, "Dude, I'm so hungover." Super nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, actor Hilo.
Oh, Tomo Pennicott.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I was blanking on that. Huge dudes. Like, they're both pretty beefy dudes, and they're over 6 foot. I'm like, okay, all right, I see why you were chosen for the role.
Yeah, man. I really I really like both of those actors. You know, it's it would be cool to talk to them for sure. I'm gonna definitely see if I can. I know that I was gonna do because I was talking to PJ actually. You know, shout out to Orville Nation, and I was talking to him about you know, seeing about getting a hold of you know, on that Cameo site, getting a hold of Candace McClure. And
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can do that because that is one person I really, really, really wanted to have on this program. So if we could get Candace McClure on here, oh my gosh, it'd be awesome.
Man,
But
I'd have to shave and clean up and look presentable. Jesus.
yeah. But Gap says I got to meet Tomo and EJO, and they were great. That's awesome, dude. I met Katie and Trisha actually. Let me see.
So I got to meet, you know, Eddie and Jamie and Trisha just long enough to kind of have a, you know, the autograph session. Edward, you know, just signed. It was very professional. And when he was done, he slid the picture back under, and then he looked at me in the suit, and I'm standing there like full salute like this, and he's, you know, he's got his N95 on, but you could see the corners of his mouth peel up as he just has this like awesome smile on his face and salutes back. Like that's how I met Edward James Olmos.
Nice.
Then I watched him sign that Polaris slingshot, which if you go watch the video on my channel, it's fucking awesome. That was a moment I was glad I got.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, you know, it was cool. Like when I met Katie and Trisha, it was one of those things where it was you know, I met them at a charity event. So it was very just, you know, down to earth where I didn't have to worry about standing in a line for no autographs, and it wasn't, you know, the typical like con setting. It was just me and it was just them, and I talked to them, and you know, they were just so cool to me, you know, taking all the time that they did to talk to me. I talked to the both of them for like a good 25-30 minutes, man. It was awesome. You know, but then again, you guys know, like, for some reason I can just sit there and conversate with people, and I think that's what it is. It's like I've never gotten particularly where I was like super starstruck, and I think that's something that a lot of these people can appreciate when you walk up to them and you just talk to them like they're your neighbor. And you know, and it also requires them, you know, the famous person being down to earth too, because it works both ways. But
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things where yeah, you know, that's how it kind of should be. And I was really happy about that. You know,
Macklin kind of hates me because we got in line for James Callis, and I made mention to him of a comment she had made to me in you know, in secret on the way into the line, and she like turned beet red in front of him. I was just like laughing to myself. She almost punched me in the lines as he's signing the photo.
Better be careful, man. You know, she will beat you up.
Yeah, probably. I probably deserve it though.
But yeah, yeah, Katie's really awesome. She actually, you know, you guys know what's going on with my mom, and when I was at that charity event, and this was back in 13, by the way, they were it was American Foundation for AIDS research event, and the thing was, okay, when I had gotten done talking myself to Katie and Trisha, they were standing there. I was still standing next to them, and I had called my mom because, my mom had been a huge fan of BSG, and, we used to watch BSG all the time together back when it was on. That was our thing back when it was on. We would all watch the episodes together all the time, and Mom was a huge fan of Katie's, and I was talking to her, and then Katie overheard me, because, like I said, I was still standing next to her. She's like, "Is that your mom? You told me about it." She kind of whispered to me. I said, like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Can I see your phone?" I said, "Sure." I handed her my cell phone. Katie gets on the phone with my mom, and she's like, "Hi, Mom. How's it going?" And she sat there and chatted up my mom for like 15 minutes. And I swear to God, that made the rest of my mom's life, man. She still talks about that because it was just like amazing. And that was like the coolest thing I think that anybody's ever done, especially, you would think coming from a famous person, because usually they're so like, very curt and very short with fans. And this was like so different of an experience. And I was just so blown away that you would do something that nice. And that made me so much more of a fan of Katie's, because that's just the person that she is. And I know with a lot of our idols, I'm sure that our favorite actors and actresses, I'm sure that we kind of, because you guys know where I fall, like, as far as politics and current events go, and I know that they don't always align, but I will say this for Katie Sackhoff, she's definitely like a sweet person, and I know a lot of these people are a lot of them are flaming libtards, but Katie has, even though she probably leans that way, she's always kind of kept it off Twitter, which I respect about her. She's always kind of kept it up there, and Trisha Helfer does too. Trisha Helfer does more of the animal stuff, advocating for animal rescues and things like that. But she keeps a lot of political shit off of Twitter, and I respect that out of her too. That's the right way, I think, to do it if you're an actor or actress. But so many of these, now they come out and just show the fact that they're complete flaming libtards most of the time, and they double and triple down on stupid takes. At least Katie and Trisha don't do that, which is very good, and I have a high amount of respect for them. Yeah, but that was an awesome experience, and big shout out to Katie Sackhoff for doing that, man. That was awesome of her.
So I think it's safe to say that we both agree this is a 10 out of 10 episode.
Yeah, I would say so, man. Absolutely, my brother. I can't say any more about it. I mean, that's just what it is for me, because it checked every single box. It had the action that I like. It had the character development. It had just everything. So 10 out of 10 for me, for sure.
Absolutely agree. I think Tony's going to one up us here and say it goes to 11, but I'm not going to argue, especially considering where we are in the 4th season. To have an episode like this, sorely needed.
Man, Gap, that's awesome that EJO son that uh, set that you had of your BSG DVDs. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, a lot of them are pretty awesome, folks. The Angry Gamer, hey brother, great to see you. Appreciate you guys coming in, and I'm glad that we could like kind of share these little personal stories with you guys because a large portion of the cast are really cool people. Um, sadly, like a lot of times, I know, like even though I try to separate the artist from the art in some of the cases where um, there's like super cringy shit. And as much as I love Mary McDonald, man, I can't look at her Twitter feed because it's super cringy shit. But most all the rest of the cast are pretty like non-political.
I think that kind of speaks to the situation where the cast understands the love that the audience still has for this show, and they just concentrate on that. And I think that kind of explains a lot of it.
Yeah, except Mary McDonald, she's super libtard, bro.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to meet her in Atlanta. She fell ill and didn't make it, but
But you know, I mean, this show is still always going to be my favorite, and you know that's why I love doing Pegasus Actual with you guys every week because it's worthy of talking about, and this is one of the last shows I think that was done right. You know, if you think about even the Expanse, the Expanse was largely done right, but I know that those of you that have seen season 6, you probably agree with me that it was just not the greatest.
so and here's where I'm gonna betray the spirit of the stream a little bit. Season 1 through 3 of The Expanse, and I've said this on multiple streams, went above the bar for sci-fi that Battlestar set for me. Like Battlestar set the standard for a lot of years, and then when The Expanse came out, I'm like, this is above that standard in every way.
Mm-hmm.
But after season 3, once Amazon took it over, it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned in the chat, and because we were talking about DVDs before, next month I will have the collected edition Blu-rays of the entire BSG series coming in. I will be giving that away on a stream at some point in the month of February. So, subscribe and be aware.
And don't forget, guys. You know, remember we're gonna do not just this show. Okay, we're gonna go through and finish this one, and then we're gonna do 78 because we always said we're gonna do 78, and we are gonna do the 78 show because I mean there's a lot of awesome stuff to like in that show too. Dirk Benedict's Starbuck, you know, Richard Hatch's Apollo. God, Lauren Green just knocking it out of the park as, you know, the dad as Adama. So, and we get to revisit the beauty that is, you know, Jane Seymour, and of course, the chick that played Cassiopeia, Lorette Spang. Oh my gosh, the original Boomer, Herbert Jefferson Jr. So that's going to be awesome. Can't wait to do the old show too. That's going to be fun.
Absolutely. I can't promise I will have a new outfit for that, but maybe.
Yeah. You know, it'd be. I don't know. I don't know how hard it would be to make the old colonial warrior outfits.
You can get the jacket. I've seen the jacket for sale.
You know the thing. Oh, Shane Nolan. Yes, Athena was the original Athena was. And I can't for the life of me. I can't. Maren Jensen.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Maren Jensen was great, but if you watch the Star Wars prequels, it's funny because if you go back and kind of freeze frame Count Dooku's costume, it sort of, in a way, almost looks like colonial warrior getup, which is hilarious. So go back and actually watch that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like side by side, a picture of the colonial warrior outfit, and then Count Dooku's dress, and you can see what I'm talking about. So, well, we're as soon as Zach gets back, we're going to wind it down, folks. I appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. You know, as I said, Arwyn is on the mend. She sprained her ankle, so she was down for the count and she was out. But, you know, I think Zach and I did a good job of pulling it off ourselves.
We did terrible. What are you talking about?
No, we did great, actually. And
it's a joke.
And I'm really glad that we got a chance to spend time together tonight. Don't forget to catch Comics Division and the guys. I'm sure Thursday Night Throwdown is already started, if not going down soon. So make sure you catch that. I may or may not jump over there and participate on the panel there. But hail to the hashtag Dix Division, to all of those that are heading over there. And, you know, Cosmic Fusion, what up, brother? Great to see you. Man. But I want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us this evening. And we'll be back to do the second part of the two-parter, which will be Blood on the Scales. That'll be next week. And I don't know. Go ahead and do your outro, Mr. Zach. Let them know where they can find you, and any final thoughts that you have.
So you can find me at Brightest Day on YouTube, Twitch, Odyssey, Instagram, not on Twitter, but half a dozen other places. All my contacts are on my About tab on my channel. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, booked with Brightest Day. I read classic sci-fi novels to you. Tuesday and Thursday, I stream on Twitch and support Drew on his channel, and I do a bevy of videos throughout the week. Please subscribe. February, I will be doing a lot of physical media giveaway, including the BSG DVDs, so stay tuned. Videos will be coming to promote that.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And, you know, I'm going to put together a content plan and really kind of start to get into doing some more content for the channel. I mean, I've got the Tuesday program, I've got this, but I want to try to find some cool stuff to do videos about. There's also, you know, the game streaming side. Got some things I want to get into. I mean, Zach and I still have to do the big battle of Pegasus Actual, where we go at it in BSG Deadlock. And there's also some gaming that I wanted to do. I also wanted to pick up, I know I'm going to pick up probably that Rainbow Six single player game that just came out. So, you know, be on the lookout for that, because I'll stream that if I pick that up. And for Christmas, actually, I got a game. I got a sports game, actually. I got NBA 2K 22, but I might do a stream with that, and it'll be all about me going to the NBA, because come on, it's believable. A 5'3" point guard in the NBA. Muggsy Bogues was. Anyways, take care of yourselves, guys. Take care of each other. Love you, and we will see you next week. So say we all.
So say we all.